Welcome to another edition of the D&D Morning Show. Back at it. I was expecting Drew to talk there. Put a little pause for him, but he didn't talk. So here we go. Here's the show.
Just gives me like a tenth of a second.
No. It's like a long break. Anyway, let's get at it.
What do we got going on?
Today's show. Drew's super excited because he gets to talk about a fun fact about me today.
That's right. My turn.
So he's super excited about that. And then we're going to get into our main topic, which is one question that comes up really frequently about complete truth protein. So we're going to talk about, is complete truth protein safe for kids to have? And then, of course, we have our featured product, complete truth protein. I've got a recipe and a quote to end it off. And a quote to end it off.
Singing for us.
Yep, a little bit.
All right, sounds like a good show.
Yes, it's going to be a good show.
Let's get into it.
Okay, start off with the fun fact.
What's the fun fact?
Well, you wanted to talk about how neat I am in the kitchen when I bake.
Oh, how neat. Or the opposite
This
neat.
is something how Drew and I don't agree on. So Drew's going to tell his side of the story. Just keep in mind, the reality is the opposite of what he's saying.
That's such a lie.
No,
right. So when Dorothy cooks, it looks like a tornado in the kitchen.
It's so not true.
There's things like, I'm telling
Okay. Go ahead.
I'm talking.
He's a liar.
Are you done?
Go.
So, I feel like as soon as I start, you're going to interrupt me. See? I knew it was coming. So when Dorothy's cooking, there's like stuff everywhere. It looks like a tornado literally went through the kitchen. There's like baking, it's like baking on like the walls.
No, there's not.
Dripping down the counters. And then like the sink is full. I think she uses like every single spatula, bowl, pan in the entire house. So I come in the kitchen, I'm like, what just happened here?
I don't agree at all. I'm organized. I'm one of those people that uses an ingredient, puts it back in the cupboard, wipes the spoon off, rinses the spoon off after I dish out something so I can use it for something else.
Such a lie.
And he doesn't agree at all. So I would like somebody to be a third opinion.
That's going to be further from the truth. I'm going to take some pictures of you baking one time.
All right. And then they'll know what is the truth. But I am a very organized baker. That is the truth.
Okay.
I don't understand why he doesn't agree.
It's not
Probably
true.
because, of course, you do make a mess when you bake. But Drew doesn't bake, so he doesn't understand. That's probably why he thinks it's a big mess.
No, when I cook, I like to cook. I do more stir fry type of thing. So when I make a stir fry, I'll pull something out of the fridge, and I'll maybe cook quinoa, for example, and I'll put it together. Or I'll chop up peppers, and then I'll put the pepper I don't use in a bowl and put it back in the fridge. Instead of having seeds all over the place, pieces of veggies on the floor, on the ceiling.
Can we just rewind to the part where he said he cooks quinoa? Because I definitely took over cooking quinoa because Drew does not know how to cook it fluffy. When Drew cooks quinoa, it's all crunchy and...
What are we telling on each other here?
Yeah, it's like a tattletale session. So anyway, Drew doesn't cook the quinoa anymore.
Dorothy does a very good job of cooking quinoa.
I am the quinoa cooker.
All right, let's get into the
Let's
show, maybe.
move on. We're going to talk about today a component of kids' health, I suppose, because often the question comes in about complete truth protein: is it safe for my child to have? The answer is
You bet
yes.
it is.
So Drew, why don't you kind of explain why or?
Well, the question comes up. When it comes to it's funny when it comes to kids when we give our kids baby food, we give our kids clean baby, read the ingredients. We give them clean baby food. A lot of times it's organic, and then we want to make sure they have the best food. And then they get a little bit older, and then we kind of move away from that. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I know what you mean. Yeah.
You look at me blank.
Well, no. I was just processing what you were saying there.
But it's just funny to me, why as we get older as adults, we think we can handle it better than babies, but it's not true. Babies can tell us so much. Like they tell us when they're happy, they tell us when they want something. Like babies are like flexible and happy, like that's their normal state. And that's how we should be as adults. I think we could learn a lot from babies and kids. But when it comes to different types of food, like nutrients, like we need to give our children the opportunity to live a healthy lifestyle as they get older. So that's why it's important that you to nutritionize their bodies properly as early as you can, because as they get older, it'll be easier.
Yeah. And talking protein powders more specifically, the question comes in with people being unsure if Complete Truth protein is safe because, they've heard that protein powders are not safe for kids to have.
Yeah, it's a great question because most conventional protein powders are not safe for kids, and they're not
or anybody.
And they're not safe for adults either. We shouldn't be consuming them. They're high, they have preservatives, additives, toxins, sugars. They make it taste great. They make it look great. You can put it on the shelf, and it has the same type of properties 6 months later or a couple years later as it does right after you open it.
Something that always gets me is the coloring. You see like a bright pink strawberry protein powder shake, or like an orange one, or and I'm like, how does it get that color?
Right.
And it just kind of freaks me out. Like, why is it bright orange? And it's not just protein powders, but it's other, highly marketed health products, you know what I mean, that you see in the gyms and things like that. It's like, why is it bright blue, or why is it bright pink? And it just freaks the heck out of me.
Yeah, it's the same thing like with Gatorade, for example.
See, I didn't want to say a name brand, but you just went ahead and said it.
So for example, like Gatorade has like a bright blue or bright pink, and you look at it and like, how did it get like that? And there's no possible way there could be natural colors to make it that color.
No.
It's not normal. It's not natural. Like what kind of fruit or what kind of natural substance grows that can make it that color? Like,
or
it's not possible.
That like lime green color, or like not, but it's like a cross between a lime and a lemon. It's like a fluorescent yellow. It reminds me of like a cleaning product.
Right.
And it freaks me out.
And we put that stuff in our bodies.
Yeah.
I used to have I know about this because I was one of those people that had giant, big containers of protein supplements. And I had one that was cookies and cream.
Yeah.
And it didn't taste anything like cookies and cream. It smelled horrible. And it was full, like the back of the ingredients had a list that long of ingredients. And I started to pay attention more to read ingredients, and I'm like, what are they putting in this? And I was like, actually like upset. I was angry. Like, why are they allowed to put all these ingredients in this substance that goes into my body? So it's obscene. So getting back to the question of, it's a great question, and we love questions because it gives us a chance to understand more about what questions you have and what you're wondering. But Complete Truth protein is 100% safe for kids. Thank you. It's whole food. It's made with quinoa and hemp seeds. Now we need to give our kids whole foods. The sooner we can introduce these whole foods to them, the better off they're going to be. So we highly recommend and are encouraging you to offer them the option to try products like this at an early age because they need it.
Yeah. And it's just food. And that is the difference between a conventional protein powder and Complete Truth protein, is ours is just clean food, like put into a more convenient way to consume it. And whereas the conventional protein powders, it's not food.
Right. It's like many of them are chemical based.
Right.
And so when we say it's safe for kids, so when someone says is CTP safe for kids, that's like saying is an apple or orange safe for kids.
Good comparison. Yeah.
Absolutely, they're food. It's food in its whole form, in its raw form. It's actually a raw product. It's gluten free, soy free, dairy free, GMO free. And it's just a more convenient way to use it. Another thing is, once you open the bag, it's shelf stable, airtight. Once you open the bag, it needs to be stored in the fridge. So after, with those conventional type of supplements, you put them in the shelf or in the pantry, forget about them. We've all done it. I used to do it. You forget about it 6 months later, a year later, I'd have like some little bit in the bottom. Don't know why I didn't throw it away. And you'd still use it because
It's
it's
still good.
still fine. Complete Truth Protein's a food, so you wouldn't have a
Apple.
apple sitting on the counter for 4 years and then try to eat
Try
it
to eat
again. So Complete Truth Protein needs to be used as a food. Now it's safe for probably 6 months after it's open, after the best before date. But we want you to use it right away. And that's not just so you'll buy more of it. We're not those type of people. It's because because once you open the bag, we have different properties in there. Like we have hemp seeds in there, so we have healthy fats in there that we want you to consume right away because the nutritional value kind of decreases. Right, so you don't want to have a bag sitting there for 2.5 years, even if it doesn't go bad. For a bag of food sitting in there for 2.5 years, because we want you to get the most out of it as soon as possible.
It'll be the most nutritious, once you first open it in, the few weeks or a month or so leading after that.
Yeah.
So introducing Complete Truth Protein to kids at an early age is a good thing.
Yeah, absolutely. The sooner the better. And I think that once you introduce these type of products at a younger age, they'll want to have more products.
Right.
So it's not like a constant struggle.
Yeah.
And then when it comes to baking, for example, as the baker,
Yes. You can add Complete Truth Protein into your cookie recipes, into your muffins, and it'll give your kids extra nutrients, because I know a lot of parents are concerned. Am I fueling my children correctly? Am I giving them enough nutrients? Even, picky eaters comes up a lot of times, and this is a good way to, sneak in, I don't know if that's the right word, but hide some extra nutrients into smoothies, into cookies, into muffins, and just provide more nutrients for children.
and when you get started, you can start with like a half a cup of CTP and then a half a cup of your regular flour if you want to like slowly implement it.
Right, yeah.
And the same thing with smoothies, for example. Like we recommend 3 tablespoons per smoothie, but you can start off with 1 tablespoon and then 2 tablespoons and slowly increase, because sometimes, especially if you're used to conventional supplements that has that strawberry flavor, chocolate, vanilla, it doesn't taste like that. It tastes like food because it is food, and we don't have any artificial flavorings to make it any different. So slowly implement, and then you can get your full serving size. And then the other thing is you don't get that chalky kind of chemical taste in your mouth after, because there's no chemicals.
It's very smooth tasting, yeah. We do have 2 different bags. One is this green bag, and this is our original blend here. This one is the one we suggest for children.
Yep.
So if you're out and about, or if you're online shopping and you see, there's 2 different ones, for your kids, pick up this gray and black bag.
Yeah, quinoa and hemp seeds. That's
it.
2 ingredients.
Quinoa and hemp seeds. Yeah.
A lot of times people are like, "What? There's only 2 ingredients?"
They're like, or they
Where's
look
the rest
at the
of them?
back and they're like, "Where's the list of ingredients?" Because it's just 2 ingredients down under here.
Yeah, they say, "Where's the
So,
rest of the ingredients?"
Where's the rest?
What are you trying to hide from us?
Yeah, no, that's it. Quinoa hemp hearts.
Yeah. So that answers the question. We're going to be posting this all over those, because we get the question so often. Is CTP safe for kids?
Yes.
100%.
I'm super excited to introduce this new recipe we've got. It's Complete Truth Protein shortbread cookies. I'm working on this one for a long time. It hasn't been easy. It's been a more difficult recipe, but over Christmas, somebody had asked me or leading up to the holidays, somebody had asked me if I had a healthy shortbread cookie, and I didn't. So I set out on the venture, and it was a longer process than anticipated. Unfortunately, they are not sugar-free. I've reduced the amount of sugar quite a bit in the recipe, but they just weren't working out. They were becoming like a goopy, gobby mess. Because there's few ingredients in them. I think that's what the sugar plays a role in helping them kind of stick together. But we do have a nice raw sugar in there, so when looking for sugars, please stay away from those white, totally refined sugars and move towards more raw, unprocessed sugar. You'll know because it's brown, right? It's not.
Most of them are. You can just tell, like when they're white, they strip everything out of it.
Everything, yeah.
So, whoa, that didn't come out. So the better quality raw types of sugar are usually darker in color.
Yeah. So this shortbread recipe is super easy to make. You've got complete truth protein in there as your flour, so it is gluten-free. You've got coconut oil in there instead of the butter. And then we do have some sugar, raw sugar, and some maple syrup or honey. And then we can add in some chocolate chips if we want, or if we want something else in addition to that, or you can just have that. You can also roll this dough out nice. So if you want to cut them into, shapes for different holidays, hearts for Valentine's Day, or shamrocks for St. Patrick's Day, or whatever, Easter, you can roll them out, and then you have a nice, healthier version of shortbread cookie.
So you roll them out, and then what?
You would cut them out with your cookie cutter, and then bake them.
Nice.
Yeah.
Sounds delicious.
Yeah.
Look forward to those coming out soon.
Yeah, it took a long time to get this one right, but we got it.
All right. And then let's end off with a quote.
Sure. This quote, since we were talking earlier about kids' health, has to do in relation with kids' health. So we get the chance in every moment to make a difference in the world with the things we teach our children.
Ooh, very nice. Mm-hmm. I think when it comes to like teaching our children, at least for me, us as adults, being someone that to make them to look up to, like setting the example. I think that for me is the most powerful thing that you could do.
Yeah.
Like someone says like, "Oh, my kid will never eat green stuff." Like, how often do you eat green stuff?
Yes.
or whatever it is. Like, be the leader. Show them how to live this healthy lifestyle, and they'll follow you.
Right.
Yeah. All right, guys. Thanks for tuning in.
Yeah. Thanks for tuning in, and we'll catch you on the next show.
See you guys.
Bye.